St. George, Utah. Situated in the southwest corner of Utah and only 90 minutes from Las Vegas, Nevada, St. George prides itself for having 360 days a year of sunshine and is the home of Fort Pierce Industrial Park. Fort Pierce Industrial Park is strategically located between St. George and the site for their new, larger airport, expected to handle over twice the air traffic as well as increased air cargo capability. If you are a rising corporation, major manufacturing facility, or even a growing company faced with expansion plans for the future, you owe it to yourself and your employees to discover Fort Pierce Industrial Park. Gilbert Jennings of Jennings Management Incorporated, the premier developer in the St. George area, explains the growth of southern Utah and the reasons why the Fort Pierce Industrial Park concept was conceived.
Fort Pierce Industrial Park was really begun by my brother and myself. We were in a manufacturing business and in the construction material supply business. Our business was located in downtown St. George. And as our business was growing, we found ourselves in a position in the mid-1980s not having any place to grow to. And about 1986, we met with the City Council, the Planning Commission, and determined that it might be appropriate for us to find another location to conduct some of the activities that needed to be done in a manufacturing zone that we were doing in downtown St. George. And so the Fort Pierce property had just been annexed into the city of St. George, and we had owned property in the area for many years. With the lack of other property available for this type of activity, we met with them, and the vision was kind of born back then that perhaps this was the place for an M1 zoned industrial park.
Ray Rosenthal of CRG Commercial Real Estate in St. George has this to say about the Fort Pierce Industrial Park development project.
Many of the sales that we have in the marketing approach to this anyway is to create jobs, and so many of the questions that we ask people coming in, we really highlight how many jobs are you going to be creating, what are you bringing to the area, but we need to create jobs.
What makes Fort Pierce Industrial Park the ideal location for expansion or relocation plans? Just listen to what many companies at Fort Pierce are saying and already experiencing.
There's some real interesting companies that have moved into the Fort Pierce industrial area. It covers a wide range of activities and different kind of manufacturing. It's an opportunity, being a manufacturing zone, for local businesses to have a place to grow. As they continue to expand their business and their marketplace, it's given them the opportunity to grow and expand.
SkyWest is the largest regional carrier in the United States. We operate 420 airplanes, carry 35 million passengers a year, have 17,000 employees scattered throughout the United States, of which a little over than 500 are based here in St. George, Utah. I think what other companies would find important to them in St. George is a very ready, well-schooled workforce that is available, has good work ethic, is very loyal, and when we consider moving to other places, that's always what we reflect back on and realize what a strong, hardworking, dedicated, unfettered employee group from outside influences, because it's very comfortable in St. George, how important that is to us, and that's the reason we haven't picked up and moved somewhere else.
In about 2003, we decided to expand our facility significantly, and we purchased an 11-acre lot in Fort Pierce. We wanted to continue to do business locally in St. George. We also have a very large market in Las Vegas. Our largest plant is in Las Vegas, but with the development costs in Las Vegas, we just felt like St. George was the place to be for this new manufacturing facility. Probably the primary reason was just the location. Given the development costs in Las Vegas, St. George was just a really good option for us. With the development of I-15, there's a new interchange near the Arizona border that'll be south of our facility there, and it'll be an easy shot down to Las Vegas. So we thought it was a great solution to expanding our capabilities, not only in southern Utah, but also much more broadly, particularly in Las Vegas.
Well, there are several reasons why we chose to move here to Fort Pierce. First of all, we liked the location, we liked the openness of the area, we liked to be in a new area with new facilities and a lot of new activity happening. It's not an old and dormant area, it's a new and vital, active area that is growing, and we'd like to be a part of that atmosphere. We also chose to be here because of the affordability of this location. We were able to purchase 20 acres at an affordable price, a competitive price. Everyone we work with here at Fort Pierce has treated us like we're important, like they would like us to be here, and we've just felt like this is the place we should be. This is home to us.
The Fort Pierce Industrial Park is right next to the airport. So literally from the time a piece of equipment or other goods leaves the warehouse and has to go and be shipped somewhere to get to the airport, you can be at the airport at your air cargo provider's doorstep within 10 or 15 minutes. So this is really the most efficient location that you can find for that. Also, it's located between the new airport site and the I-15 corridor. So which way do you need to go? You need to go by land, you need to go by air. You're located in the middle of all of it. And with the new southern corridor that will be coming around, it will connect all of the business aspects the greater St. George area has to offer, highway, airport, right around the Fort Pierce area. Again, you can't do better location-wise than where the Fort Pierce Industrial Park is located today.
St. George is a very vibrant community. We have a great track record. We've got a lot of things going for us here. The climate is exceptional. Year-round golf. There's a lot of national parks and state parks within a very close proximity to St. George, and so a lot of people come here for the climate. A lot of people come here just, quite frankly, for the quality of life. We offer something here that very few communities in the West offer, and that's a little taste of everything. We're noted nationwide for our golf opportunities. We've been considered the golf capital of Utah, much like Palm Springs in California, and we have excellent softball facilities. We have a softball facility that's for 7 years in a row has been ranked the #1 facility in the country. So we see a lot of travel and tourism. Business is also taking off here with the Fort Pierce Industrial Park, really providing a great place for business to locate and relocate. Rates that are extremely affordable as far as electricity, water. We're very affordable from a land standpoint as well to grow and expand and become very successful as we move into the future.
St. George is a phenomenal place to raise a family. It is regularly rated among the safest communities in the United States. Since the area was founded, it has been a place where families have been the focus and been one of the major concerns of the government, the culture, and the community. And so they've invested in infrastructure. They've used the natural resources, the natural beauty that's here, and tied their infrastructure through their park systems, their trail systems, the waterways, access to national and state parks. They've tied that all together into a quality of life that is really unmatched anywhere else in the Western United States.
Dixie Escalante was organized back in the 1940s. We were one of the founders, if you will, or one of the entities that got involved to create the industrial park. And we brought one of the gems to the table, and that is we have a large supply of wholesale power. And so our rates have been very stable for the past 10 years. In fact, we haven't raised rates in over 10 years. And that's because we have a vertical integrated project. That means that all the way from the coal mine through the railroad to the power plant, we own transmission. That interties with the electrical grid, so we are not subject to market swings in power prices. As a result, our rates have been very, very stable over the course of the last 15 plus years. We are a consumer-owned power company, which means the consumers are the owners. The consumers elect a board of directors, and they set the policies and rates for the company. So our motives are driven by our customers' needs. We invested in the infrastructure in the Fort Pierce Industrial Park with the idea in mind that we would attract large industry. So for example, if a customer that has a 5 megawatt power need came to the industrial park, we can very easily serve that customer. We have the infrastructure in place, we have redundancy in place. That customer could receive power feeds from several different directions so that in the event of equipment failures on our system, we can ensure power delivery. Our rates are the lowest in the state of Utah, if not the entire region, which would include the western region. And again, our rates have been stable for at least 10 plus years. We don't anticipate any increases in the future.
As you can see, St. George, Utah and Fort Pierce Industrial Park have a lot to offer any business, large or small, that is considering relocation. And when it comes to education, recreation, and relaxation, the St. George area of southwestern Utah has it all.
There's a quality of life that exists with its close location to some of the most beautiful parks in the country. Its climate, I think there's an excellent labor market that is available. And even given the fact that land prices are increasing everywhere, they haven't increased at all like the levels that land prices have increased in Las Vegas, Phoenix, Reno, and perhaps some of the California markets, which makes doing business in St. George and in the park much more possible to make it work.
St. George has some great educational opportunities. We have a terrific college here. We have 4-year programs that are available to people. They don't have to leave and go away for education. It's an opportunity for people to be trained and stay and live in this community. The college supports business, creates opportunities for employees to get trained and opportunities to grow in their employment opportunities and move up the ladder, if you will, and have increased earning capacity, and hence their families benefit tremendously by having a broad-based economy.
When it comes to location, you will have to agree that no other place in the Intermountain West fits the criteria better than Fort Pierce Industrial Park. Just hours from all major key business markets, St. George, Utah is closer than you think. So, if your business is seriously considering expansion or relocation, St. George, Utah is where your company needs to be. With commercial land, fuel, and utility prices at an all-time high, you can't afford to be doing business anywhere else. Get with the commercial development professionals at CRG and Jennings Management Incorporated today and find out how your company can benefit from the best location in the West.